Stare and I play Magic way too much. Okay, so I want to talk about Saheeli Rai. Rahi is what I'll call her. I want to show basically the top cards that I would use. So these are 3.5 pages of what I would use to make my deck in almost like the core of my deck in almost all scenarios. Okay, now I have 406 cards I can use. If I had every card in the book, I could have 508 cards to choose from. And my hope here is to narrow this down to 25 cards. So you can kind of get an idea of where you should start with the deck, or at least what other people are thinking. So I think it's a really powerful Planeswalker. And I'll kind of show the reasons why. The third ability, and we'll go over that in a second, look at it specifically, is summon 4 vehicles. I think the best thing to do is to have 1 vehicle in there. Now, when you summon 4 and they go right to the battlefield, then you have essentially a reinforced 4 times. So this is my most powerful vehicle, probably the most powerful in the deck, and it becomes a 48/48, and it does 20 damage. Wow. Red, you want to kill some creatures. Here we go. You'll notice a pattern here. I'm either killing them or sending them back in order to get my vehicle out. And that could be any vehicle. Even if it's a 6/6, you're going to end up with a powerful guy that's going to kill him in 3 or 4 turns. Red always destroy supports. If you're playing against Ban, the newer Planeswalker, there's so many evil supports in the new set. You may even want to have the other kill support that takes 3 life from you. Here we go. I'm going to send their creature back. I'm going to kill their creature for 3. So I have 4 cards in there already, 4 of 10 that are to send their creatures back or killing them, because I'm just waiting to get my creatures out. Now, we haven't even shown you a creature besides that one. Here too, I want to say, so something on speed of decks. When I see decks, I know I can only play against the computer, and the computer's garbage when they match things and stuff like that and how they play their cards. But when I'm playing a deck, and this is really tricky because there's plus 11 down here when you add up the, plus 1 for this and 3 for this and 3 for this. And I think it's 4, 4, 1, 1, 1, which is 11. But, if I have extra mana each turn, that's a problem. Like if my cards only total 15 mana and I get 20, that's a problem. Or if I'm not getting enough and I always have 6 cards in my hand, that's another problem. But I'm using these cards to kind of balance it. And that's what I would do, and I'd recommend for you guys too, is to use these kind of cards to balance it. So you always have 2 or 3 cards, maybe 1, 2 don't have mana, but you could, order them and get that out if you needed to. But with this deck, I'm thinking a little differently because, I shouldn't go all the way back, but I want to get that loyalty up, and so I have this in here. And with that in there, I get the loyalty up very, very quickly. Now, when I first built the deck, and actually I've won 30 battles in a row with this, with decks. But the first version was like, hey, I want to use, the new creatures, and here's a construct, and that goes to the second ability. So I'm energizing 3. Sometimes it reinforces at least the power, not the defense. Here we go, another construct. I'm thinking, okay, all my constructs get plus 6/6, I think, and some nice abilities with overload. And here's another one, I energize. And the thing is, if I overload 2, I get this, and I get this, and I get this. So it does work out well. But I tried to really use these creatures, and I did well, and I won 10 battles in a row. But it just wasn't as smooth as I wanted. And again, I don't have every creature from the new deck and all that kind of stuff. But it works, and I really tried to use the abilities. After a while, I realized I was just using that third ability, and I got rid of all those cards. So when I'm making this deck, that's not going to be in it, that's not going to be in it, that's not going to be in it. Here's another Prism's Array. When you're playing blue, you want to draw some cards. Going back to that, always having extra cards, being able to play quickly, use the mana you're getting. But it didn't make it in the deck, but it would be what I would think about in there. Now, Sunken Hollow and Glade, Cinder Glade, are actually the same essentially card for your deck. It's kind of who you're playing against, and I wouldn't switch it out every battle or anything silly, but either one works exactly the same. And I'm actually going to get rid of that one. I'll keep that one because it looks cooler. Reckless Bushwhacker I actually kept in here. Now, the strategy here is that if I use that third ability and I get up my 48/48, then I cast Reckless Bushwhacker, they attack the first turn. Now, the issue if I don't do that is sometimes you're playing black and they kill it right away. I didn't like that, and I put this in. And that was better. That was a better ability than any of the new cards gave me. So I went back to my old friends. Here we also go. I have lots of extra mana, so I got a powerful creature in here that costs 15, but I'm getting lots of mana, so that's okay. And when I'm drawing cards, I'm destroying gems, which gives me more loyalty, which gets me to using the abilities more. So you see it all kind of triggered around matching gems, fast, loyalty, getting expensive things out. Where was I at? Haunted Cloak, that does the exact same thing as the Reckless Bushwhacker, gives it vigilance. I didn't make it to the deck, though. Here we go, Tomio's Journal. You're going to have so much mana in this. You're going to your average cost should be like 8 or 10, maybe even higher, because you get so much mana each turn. Here is just a fantastic card. It's a little bit newer, and for 9, I mean, this is the definition of power creep. Hard not to have it in the deck. It's not in the deck, but I would think about having it. Here we go, red. This card essentially, when you break the 2 blocks, sometimes it's free or almost free. It just didn't quite make it to the deck. It has all the same qualities, and I might put it in there, but it just didn't quite make it to the deck. Reflector Mage. I didn't need. It's just 11 instead of 7 for sending creatures back. It just wasn't quite right. This I actually got since I made the deck, and I might actually put this in, but it wasn't in my original deck, and I kind of want to show you what I had come up with. And I'm so happy I got this card. It's just a great card. I showed it in one of the decks. Here, actually, it would be another great deck card to have in there because you get so much mana. This Awaken 15 is going to happen. And so you're going to have a 14/14 come out. Something to think about. Here we go. You're going to have so much mana that if you have this card last, then you draw 6 more cards. You're going to get those cards out. And that would go very good with the Sphinx here. I didn't have that in the deck. And Claustrophobia. In white, we use I don't know what it's called. It costs 6 and, disables the creature. And then there's the other one that, I hate because I don't have it and I play against it. That whenever a creature attacks, it's disabled. Why don't we ever use Claustrophobia for blue? No one uses it. Nobody. Neither do I. 9 just doesn't feel right. It takes 2 turns to get out. But here we go. That's 10 cards. And this is the deck I came up with that really, really works well. So that's where I would start making the deck. And let's look at the abilities again. I showed in the other video, but 9, create a 4/4 essentially Thopter, and it is a construct note, energize 4. So that goes along with you have to have a reason to energize 4. So when I first made the deck, I was using this ability a little bit. Second ability. Remove 2 energy from the board, and each construct gets 6/6. So that's nice. I had 3 constructs; they would get 6/6. But for just 8 more, you get the 4 vehicles out. And if you have the cards I have, at least that's the way to go. Going all the way down the page, you see +1, +1, +4, +1, +4. Add that up real quick, and we have +11. This is the most powerful, fastest Planeswalker there is. The next is Koth that has +9. If you don't count the negatives, it just is so fast. And I know that they're gonna nerf it. I pressed the wrong button. I know they're gonna nerf it sometime because it's just so much. It's like 20% faster. And if you just ignore the other stuff, it just all the crazy new abilities, because I don't have all the cards yet, it just works out well. So I'm doing this for you guys. I normally only play in the last few hours of an event. The event actually ends. This is the bigger event. I don't know. It's Thursday. I guess it ends Friday at 6. I don't know. I'm losing track of my days. But we'll see kind of where I come in. So, good. I'm playing against somebody else with red. So I'm going to match red, blue, white. And that looks like a good order. Yeah, that looks like a good order for me. And again, I'm really going for loyalty. There's a lot of loyalty out here. I'm going to go like that. So right there I get, I think, 4 loyalty. Not only going for loyalty, you see I'm making reasonable matches here. But I'm actually going to hold that one back, and I think that'll work right there. And I'm actually going to go crazy, and I really am just going to go for loyalty so I can show you this ability, because the ability is so strong, and it only cost, I think it was 20 to get out. So that's 6 turns. It's actually less than 6 turns. But one of the strategies here, like right here, if I can get a red or a white, and if I can use that, and let's do that. I should have matched the red. So let's get rid of that one. And it's actually a good deck to play against. So I actually haven't played this in about a week, and so a little rusty on this, and that's okay. So that has 8 power. So let's see if let's see what happens. I need one more, and maybe foolishly, I'm actually going to send that one back, because I don't want it to come back and give everything 4/4. And we're already at 12. And 13. So I need 7 more. That dragon's not going to come out. I'm just going to get rid of that for a second. And what do I have? I'm looking for blue, and let's go there. So those really speed up the deck, and we're going to see if something happens here. This is actually way different than the other. I think I was being silly at the start and tried to kind of show something fancy, but this is still going to work out just fine. And that comes out. It's going to kill that. If that order would have been better, I could have killed this too. Even if you're behind, this deck really, because of the mana, if you have any cards in there at all, I mean, I have 4 that kill creatures, and that's going to bite me a little bit. So how many do I need? I need 1 more, and blue and red, let's match some green. And it looks like I'm going to take about 16 damage unless they do something crazy like that. Wow. So this is really not how I've ever had the deck work for me before, and that's just fine. It's actually good because I got a little cocky with the deck, I think. There was a report that they wouldn't summon all 4 of these. We'll see if it becomes, it should be a 60. Whoa, it didn't, because it's supposed to summon 4. Okay, well, that didn't work because it's supposed to summon 4. It only summoned 3. There's an error in the game. We knew there was errors in the game before this video. So let's see what they do. Anything crazy? And not crazy enough, I guess, because there we go. And the game's over. So, I mean, I was a little cocky going in, but you see how the mechanics work. You see that you can put even more kill creatures. You can put even maybe not kill creatures, but more return creatures to hand. You get that third ability and it just wipes them out. I mean, if you have that planeswalker or a different planeswalker, pardon me, if you have that big mythic card or a different big mythic card, different vehicle is the right term of those cards, that it really does work out. So, and you can see that I started an event. It's Thursday at 10 o'clock. This ends Friday at 6. So it's 20 hours to go or whatever that is. And I'm already ranked 400. And if I played a little bit, I'd be ranked in the top 10. So you can kind of see too that you want to join events late. If you join them right away, it just doesn't work as well. Thanks, guys. I hope this helps. I hope it helps you build your deck, at least get a starting spot.